What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical average American here today to react and learn about would someone in the UK move to the United States? What are your thoughts about that? Moving to America from the UK. Apparently, according to this discussion I found, the thoughts about this have changed over time. Maybe not too surprisingly, but I found this little discussion on Reddit. Did anyone else dream of moving to America when they were younger, but just think F that now? This makes me sad, of course, to see something like this. It's also fascinating to just learn about what the modern outlook on America is from the rest of the world. Because, of course, most Americans, like living in America, think, yeah, it's great. Like, things are great here. And compared to lots of places on the planet, I do think it is a great place to live. But there's that wonder that I have of what does the rest of the world think? And over time, that changes as stuff happens, not surprisingly. So this conversation here just seemed very interesting to me. I know I did as a late teen, early 20s, think about moving to America could be cool, but now it just doesn't seem safe. Safe, not safe. That's an interesting word. It doesn't seem safe. Wow. Okay. Let's continue on to some of the other thoughts about this. Definitely growing up in the 90s, it seemed like an amazing place with this magical draw. People definitely looked up to it as and the American dream. I will say, definitely Americans' opinion of America, like overall, very general. On average, I think most Americans like being in America, but definitely this sense of people in America and the opportunities and the ability to fulfill the American dream, that whole feeling has gone down steadily. Like people's outlook on can I actually accomplish the dreams that my parents did, and do I have the same opportunities now that my parents did? Definitely seems to have gotten negative, more and more negative, and I'm talking about within America, Americans' feelings on that as well. And apparently, it's kind of the same kind of school of thought from people in the UK, according to this individual, anyway. But now, as an adult, nope, wouldn't touch it with a barge pole. Gosh, did you have to say it like that? So eloquently, honestly. Cheeky edit. I didn't expect this post to get as big as it did. Let me add some context. Okay, let's get some context a little bit. 90s were a magical time, no 24-hour news, no social media, no instant knowledge. Okay, so I think what they're saying is the truth, honestly. In the 90s and earlier, you only had what you heard about this magical America, this amazing America, and maybe the TV and the movies, the media that came out that you could watch from outside of America and looking in, and you're like, oh, this is so cool and hip, and that was the feeling. But now with the internet, things have gotten very real. You can literally see at a level of detail about America and the news and politics and everything on a day-to-day basis in such a crazy level of detail, almost more detail than you ever wished you could have. So I'm not surprised that correlating with the rise of the internet has decreased the love and outlook of like, do I want to live in America? Or, because most people around the world just didn't used to know exactly what was going on here, for better or worse. America was the Fresh Prince, The Simpsons, movie stars, singers, cheap shopping, good holidays, Disney World. Yeah, I can see why it was just kind of like the highlights, the best, coolest stuff coming out of America. That's what people saw around the world for sure. Um, Now we have Twitter, Facebook, fake news, racial issues, gun toting, laws. Yep. If you offered any Brit the chance to immigrate to America in the 90s, I think they would have bitten your arm off at the opportunity. But now, I'd be surprised if anyone wanted to move to America just because. Okay, very interesting. Also, but not entirely unexpected, from in my opinion, even from my point of view. Okay. Interesting. Very interesting. I feel about the US similar to I feel about South Africa. Beautiful country, loads of lovely and interesting people, but huge wealth disparity, true, and a bit unsafe in big cities. I have heard that's true. I don't actually live in a giant major city in America, but I'm sure you could look up statistics about crime and stuff like that, and I do believe this is true. Very cool for a long holiday, but I would not want to live there. Right, right, right. Okay, that makes sense to me. I get it. I get it. Let's go to the next big comment on this. I did want to move to America when I was a child. Now the guns, the seemingly large amount of genuine crazy people, and the fact Trump managed to become president there is putting me off, mainly the guns. Yes, certainly seems like electing Trump president really turned off a lot of the people around the planet and a lot of Americans too. And the guns, that certainly is a divisive issue in America. Although, I gotta say, on a day to day basis, living in America, I don't like think about guns. I don't think about other people. Other people own guns, and I know that to be true, but I don't feel like I'm in danger. And most people, the vast, vast, vast majority of people in America, are not carrying guns on them, although that is legal if you have the correct registration. So I don't feel like there's lots of people with lots of guns around me. I don't have that feeling or that fear. I don't know if that's misguided, but that is how I feel. Maybe I'm used to it. I don't know. So it's interesting to me that just the guns and the gun laws make people possibly make people nervous from the UK looking in on America. Interesting. And how ridiculously expensive their health care is. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a good one. That's a good one right there. Now, the thing is, you can buy a health insurance plan, and it's not gonna like ruin you. It's just a monthly payment you make, and that's not too ridiculous. So if you can afford health insurance plan, which most people, if you have like a decent job and earnings, you can do, you're not gonna worry about losing your whole life, your whole savings and livelihood over hospital bills. Now, if you don't have health care, or if you need some kind of very long, kind of complex treatment, then comes the worry of like this could cost me, I could be in debt for the rest of my life. There's a fear of how much is the hospital going to charge me? Like you sometimes you don't even quite know and they act like a business or something. Yes, but the care itself, the actual health, the care that you're given when you are given it is very good. Some of the best in the world. I've always had a very positive experience going to a hospital, to my doctor. It's always been a great experience, great care. It's the cost. It's the fear of the cost for a lot of people, for sure. For sure. Um, a bit, but as soon as you realize the work culture there is effed, not even to get into the health insurance stuff, it becomes a lot less appealing. Friend of mine got headhunted, offered massive salary, but they would not shift on even 20 days holiday being an offer. It amazes me that they don't get paid holidays as a standard. Yeah, this is something I've actually had to learn about the rest of the world. Sad as it is, I am so used to not getting a lot of time off work. You can like earn points and like I don't know if it sounds silly, but you can earn points and you can spend them on taking holiday days off. You get some sick days off, It's a bit limited, but I've always found it to be adequate, at least. You get certain holidays off, but as I've learned about the rest of the world and what kind of benefits and time off the rest of the world gets compared to America, it blows my mind. It's insane. Like I view the work culture in in other parts of the world, like the UK, as this amazing, like, oh, that's so good for you. That's amazing. Like I can't even imagine. Whereas, like, that's what's happened over a lifetime in America. Whereas maybe I should be thinking, oh, that's how it should be. Work should not consume your whole life. Like, and the relationship between employer employee would be better and healthier, and your relationship between your work and life balance and family would be better if America was more like a lot of other places like the UK with time off and benefits and maternity leave and all those things. Yeah, that really disturbed me. That's kind of opened my eyes. That's definitely true. That's a good one. Oh boy. Yeah, I'm starting to see why people in the UK had this amazing outlook on America back in the day, back in the good old days. The good old days, man. And now in 2023, not so much. The truth is a little too truthful, you could say. Think TV gave us all that dream. Yeah. Endless sunshine, tons of friends and parties. Yeah. Yeah, I definitely do. American parties, American schools seemed so cool. Now as I get older, it just think, why would anyone want to move there? Haha. Ah, man. Yeah, it makes me sad to hear it, but I'm not going to argue about it. I totally get it. Oh man, Canada still seems pretty cool. Yeah, I mean Canada is very, very, very similar to America in so many ways, and then just so darn different in so many ways. It's like if you want, yeah, if you have kind of gotten demoralized or about the American dream and the American existence, look at Canada, perhaps. Look at Canada. A lot of Americans do. A lot of Americans do think about Canada. When stuff gets really crazy or that Americans get particularly upset about certain things in America, a lot of Americans are like, I'm going to Canada, man. I'm going to Canada. Yeah, yeah. Be interesting to see like the immigration of Americans to Canada, like how much that actually is, or if it's all talk or what. But that's definitely something that's definitely said in America. Like, I'm going to Canada. Yep, I would have moved to the US for a 100K tech job. 100K? Yeah, me too, buddy. I had dreams of living in a wilderness state like Colorado or Wyoming. Okay. But now, I'd rather stay in the UK, taking 60K tech job in London. Trading workers' rights for money just ain't worth it. Yeah, I feel like I still have a lot to learn about workers' rights in the UK, but I think Americans are just used to it. Whatever benefits we are given here, Americans are just used to it. So it's not really a huge topic of debate, honestly, in America. It's not going to change anytime soon because Americans, that's just the norm. It's just the norm. It's interesting. Interesting for me to think about it, actually. Yep, driven by a deep love of blues music, I had a dream about hoboing around Mississippi Delta, hoping to meet people named after afflictions. Really? It's very specific. Okay. Old One-Eyed Joe and Three-Fingered Willie. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Okay. America just seems too much. Too hot, too busy, too loud, too big. It depends on where you live. Depends on where you live. There's some very quiet, very pleasant parts of America. Small towns, small cities, that are not at all like the movies about America. Not like small town America, most of the time is very, very nice. Most Americans, most people, humans, are nice when you meet them in person. Nice, kind, genuine people. But that's coming from me, an American. I assume maybe from someone on the outside coming in, maybe we are louder than I realize. Busier, I don't know, but I know that definitely exists, and I can tell in major American cities for sure. New York, LA, stuff like that. But not so much to me in smaller towns. Like, yeah. And too hot and too cold. Oh my gosh, the weather. I think this week where I am, it was like 70 degrees yesterday, and in a few days it's going to be 35. So, there you go. Fahrenheit, by the way. Um, when I was a kid, influenced by the Disney Channel. Wow. People in the UK were watching the Disney Channel. That's that's awesome. That's every American kid's upbringing as well. Hannah Montana, etc. I'm in medical school right now. You could not pay me any sum to practice medicine in the US. There's no world in which I support or pay taxes to a system without socialized health care. Yeah, yeah, again, we're all used to it here, but we still talk about how American healthcare hospitals are run like a business a lot of the time. It's really like they're a business, like they're trying to make money off you. Which is not a comfortable feeling. It's not the kind of feeling or reality you want when needing something like healthcare. Everyone needs healthcare. And to have that be not like guaranteed or not financially guaranteed or safe is scary. Scary for a lot of people in the United States. Because if you're not financially stable in the US, the healthcare system is not created for you. It can screw you. If you better not get sick or hurt, or if you need help, don't call an ambulance because that's going to be thousands of dollars just riding in the ambulance. Get your friend to drive you. It's horrible. It's horrible to even have to think about that stuff, right? So I'm totally on board with that. I still do, but I want to live in Epcot in Disney, Florida. A lot of Disney fans. America seems like absolute poop hole for most average American working, so no. I mean, I think I read a statistic that 50 or 60% of Americans are literally working paycheck to paycheck. Like, what's going on? What? Paycheck to pay, having to survive. Like, they better not miss work or get fired. They're living paycheck to paycheck. In America. Like, it's supposed to be the American dream. It's supposed to be the land of opportunity. Exactly what people here from the UK and these comments are saying about 20, 30 plus years ago. It sure doesn't feel that way anymore. So, I get it. I get it. I lived there in Texas for a few years when I was 21, worked at a kids camp in the summer. Now I'm 27, and I still dream about going back. There are decent, honest, hardworking people who despise Trump as much as we do. It's just that popular media paints them as stereotypical Republicans who are loyal to the party. I would definitely agree with that. I would agree with that. Depending on where you live in America, you can get whatever kind of existence, whatever kind of experience you want, whatever kind of people you want to live around or be around, whatever makes you comfortable. You can find it in America. It's definitely not everybody is like that, not even close. Um, just basically, I don't know what you would do. I guess you'd look up like how people voted. If you're into that, how people voted on certain elections, state by state, and you can find places where you can live with Americans that share your exact same opinions on all that if that's important to you. So, I wouldn't make that the reason that you don't come to America or don't live in America, for sure. Strangely enough, I was always I was always somewhat horrified by the thought of living in the USA. Oh no. I'm sorry. I used to, but even with all the things that can kill you, I feel Australia would be safer. Australia. Americans view Australia as pretty cool, and like the people are super nice. Does seem like a nice place. Australia, Canada, the UK, all seem super nice. I also made it there twice, but looking back now, I'm kind of glad I did not. UK isn't exactly a bowl of fruit either. Having lived in both the US and UK, I can say UK is the lesser bad. Okay, nice to have like another kind of anecdotal opinion there. He says he lived in both. That's helpful. Um, okay, interesting, very interesting stuff. Um, I'm still open to moving if my fiance wants to, but he's convinced now that the UK is a better place, so I guess we're staying put. Yeah, I honestly, every single comment is a no. If we go back to the beginning, did anyone else dream of moving to America when they were younger? But now just think F that. Everyone is saying F that. No one wants to move to America. That's fine. There were a lot of fascinating, insightful, accurate points in this discussion. So I enjoyed this. I understand why everyone said no. But as far as that goes, I have to say, as someone living in America, growing up in America, my personal experience has been great. Like, I can't complain. And I also like the location where I live. So I'm very fortunate, very, very fortunate. I know that, and I'm happy, you know. But seeing people look at America from the outside does open my eyes a lot. But I think a lot of it you can fall into that trap of it being like a generalization of what the news, whatever the news is saying about what's happening in America, even if it's true, that's not representative of everywhere, for sure. So, I don't know. Take that for what you will. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, feel free to give it a like or leave a comment. And if you're interested in more videos like this, me reacting to the UK culture, things about the UK that I've never seen or heard or learned before, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching, and see you next time.